Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another Strompcast podcast. That sounded weird. My bad. I'm not normally doing this. Welcome back to another Strompcast.
We're too used to
number
Sam
192. Yeah, facts. Another big win. Sporting kind of top of the league, but not really. Boavista is on top. But before we get into that, let's start off with the panel. Starting off with my man Chris. Chris, how's it going, bro?
I'm doing good, man. Yeah, nice result this weekend. I mean, pretty much every single one of these big 3-4 games, if you want to include Braga, has been a nail biter for all of them. So, is this the season of like very equal, more equalness in the league? Just a coincidence? I don't know, but I do know that the Casa Pia is a quality side, and who knows how good they could be, with a stadium and a home field advantage.
Yeah.
But yeah, we took care of business, and we will talk about the controversy that went along with it.
Exactly. But before we get into that, let me also pass off to my man Rich. Rich, how's it going, bro?
I'm good. I'm very good. It's a nice win. Good way to kind of cap off a week, but I guess a little dubious. I think we can admit that. A little dubious of a win, but we've had those calls not go our way too plenty of times. So sometimes it goes in your favor, sometimes it doesn't. As the kids say, a win's a win.
Facts, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And of course, give me a follow right there. And shout out Sam. Sam couldn't just make it today, so but yeah, shout out to Sam. Nonetheless, boys, let's jump right into it before going into anything else. Let me just quickly bring up the 11 here, which was as followed. We had Adan in net. We had Diomande, Coates, and Inacio keeping their spot in the back line. Swapping our fullbacks from the last game, we had Ishgayu and Nuno Santos coming in, both of them with assists. Then we had Bot and Morita in the midfield, no Bragança because of the head injury he sustained the last game. And then Marcus Edwards, Paulinho, and Gyökeres up front. Substitutions of Mateus Reis, Jenny, debut of Hulman. Is that how you pronounce it, boys?
Hulman.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Mateus Fernandes and Trincão in garbage time.
Quick cameos, basically.
Facts. Rich, I'll start off with you, dude. What were your thoughts?
Start with Chris. I missed the first half because of work.
Okay, Chris, I'll start off with you, bro.
I give you a great second half analysis, but not first half.
I guess like the initial goal, which ended up being the controversy goal, was on 3 minutes. I mean, it was basically Sporting's first chance. Yeah. Our man Gyökeres, bro, just runs it down in the channel. Doesn't look like he, at least like 2 to 3 times a game, it looks like the center back should get to the ball first, but then he just gets to the ball first because he's a fucking machine. He plays a decent ball across. It goes all the way through. Our man Gaio collects and delivers for an assist. 3 minutes. I feel like that wasn't talked about enough. As Gaio starts, boom, assist in 3 minutes. I mean,
facts.
Yeah,
offside or not, facts.
Yeah, sure. Get to the.
We need to talk about that.
So yeah, I mean, after that, like, it obviously like allowed us to play more freely. I would say for the first like 30 minutes, Gyökeres continuously was dangerous. Obviously, I just think that we had the better of the play. As the half kind of went on, Casa Pia sort of was growing into the game. That Godwin guy was constantly dangerous. Clayton, even the Japanese winger Yuki Soma, I believe his name is. He was a bit more wasteful in my opinion, but he was still constantly in dangerous positions. So I'll be honest, he had a bit more quality. Maybe they even tied this game in the first half. They picked right off when they left off. They scored pretty early into the second half. We can talk about the goal, who's at fault. So I saw that Sam had posted the thanks for the memories, Coates, but it's time to go. I mean, I kind of feel the same way, honestly, after watching the first 2 games. I'm not saying the goal was his fault or anything. He seems slower, man. He just looks slower.
He looks like he's moving at like everyone's moving at normal speed. He's moving at 0.7.
He's turning it over more.
Yeah.
He's like he would used to stick his foot in and just like almost always get it. Now it's I don't know. It seems like it feels like a big drop off from last year. Enough that it's like, oh shit. Maybe he's not like an everyday starter type player this season.
It's the falling for that goal. I think that's
that's what makes it hurt more.
Diamante doesn't do anybody any favors.
It's his fault, really.
And Adon does not do himself any favors coming out and like somehow making himself smaller as he's sliding out. I mean, it's kind of a catastrophe. Adon and Kawats, I'm going to be honest, I don't think they're going anywhere. So I think that they're going to be key figures this season, so we're gonna have to just deal with it. But I think that in the end it was a deserved result, a sweaty result. But I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I think this is one of the best teams outside of the top 4 in the league. I don't even think that's a controversial statement. So wasn't easy to get 3 points, especially it's on the road kind of. It's close to Lisbon and it's not even their actual home, so it's like a fake.
They haven't had an actual home since they were in like 2nd division.
Yeah, sadly.
They're never getting home.
Yeah, it's tough. That's tough for them. But I mean, we ended up honestly probably benefiting from the home field advantage. Probably like 3/4 of the stadium ended up being Sporting fans, greater Lisbon area. It helped. A lot of games in the north this season, so I guess it's good to have away games somewhat close to home.
No island games this season too.
No island games.
Exactly. No island games at all. All the Islanders are back down with the Pheasants.
And a few more, or at least one more trip down south. Than normal. Usually it's at least the one to Portuguese.
We got Fresneda again.
Not bad. At least the boys can go to Algarve again. They do love it out there.
They always seem to pick up points in Algarve too, so that's always a nice thing.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess it's just a wrap. I think it's a deserved result. It's a hard fought win. I guess I will note that Jenny Katamo did look pretty explosive off the bench. Seems like that's probably a better. I mean, we used to say like Edwards is probably better off the bench against tired legs. I feel like the same is probably true for him. I think he's going to do most of his damage as a sub. But I mean, it is becoming very increasingly clear why he has passed many others in the depth chart and actually found his way onto the field for Emily, which is something that a lot of these other young players can't say.
Yeah, fair enough. Rich, I'll pass it off to you as next, but without getting too much into the controversy, because obviously
we're gonna dive into that. I mean, we all kind of predicted last week that it was gonna be a very close game. I think we all had like 1-0 and 2-1 in the predictions, and it proved to be right. Like Casa Pia looked good for a team that has no home. Like they're a tough team to go and play against when they're home, so to speak. But I agree with Chris. They're probably one of the better teams outside of the top 4. I think it'd be them, and maybe Aruca would probably be one of the other ones that I would look at. Although Vista looks pretty good this year so far.
Surprisingly,
off field
somehow.
Chaos.
Yeah, crazy.
Notwithstanding, mind you, but. Yeah, I thought it was good. I liked Katamo off the bench.
Yeah.
Hulman, I thought looked okay. It was a cameo. There wasn't much for him to really do.
Yeah.
He just looked really calm on the ball. Like
that was assuring. Like
he looked effortless. He didn't look
out of place. Just he didn't have enough. He didn't really get much time to shine. Really, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But he didn't look like everything I saw from him was like assuring. Like okay, he seems fine. Like he's not made any grand mistakes. He's not doing anything typical to stand out, but fair enough.
This was on my end on just that quickly.
Yeah,
I'm like expecting like some sort of enforcer, like some like brick in the midfield, and I didn't see it this game, so I was a little worried. But you're right, it was like what 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
It's 20 minutes, and like he's been with the team for like a week.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
He's barely been training, like
exactly.
So
I'm not too worried either. But I just wanted to throw that out there. I was expecting some like. He came on. I was like, okay, bro, we're about to see some crazy fucking 2-foot.
Well, we've heard a lot of hype about him, right?
Yeah.
But you got to keep in mind, he didn't like Jokeres had like almost a whole preseason to adapt, right?
Exactly.
Like Hulman's had like a week, and they're already in the season, so you got to give him a bit of slack.
for sure.
Just St. Just to have this season come back. Otherwise, we should sell him. I would love for St. Just to come back 100%, but I'm not.
Yeah, I
going
mean
to get
I
any
think
money.
that solves our Coates problem.
It solves your whole center
Put
back
Diamande
right
in
there.
the middle, even though
when he's
Diamande
healthy-
wasn't perfect. But
Well, when St. Just is healthy, like we've seen, he's one of, if not the best center back on this team. It's just
in the league,
poor guy
I'd
can't catch a
argue.
break. The poor guy can't catch a break. Like,
Yeah.
so you feel that. From this
And
game,
as we kind of briefly touched on the last pod, like we don't know when he's coming back. Like,
no, we don't know. We just don't know if he actually had
it
surgery.
might not
or
even be in the calendar year 2023.
We don't know if he
That'd be
has it
brazy.
been confirmed if he actually had surgery. Like, we still don't know.
I don't know. I didn't hear it.
Jesus, fair enough. Usually someone leaks this by now, or they've come out with it, so they've kept it pretty close.
Yeah, respect to them for
the
keeping
vest.
this like confidential.
The fact that they haven't come
Yeah.
out and say anything, and the fact that no one's leaked it, like that's
Yeah.
impressive. Like
Yeah,
you
good for
don't
them.
get that for any
Shout out
for
Rickard.
any team. That does not happen very often. There's always some stooge that leaks something.
stealth
to
surgery,
some-
bro.
Some weird shit. I'm hoping if it was a surgery, it's just like they had to go in, do a scope, clean up his knee, like we said, but we'll see. Yeah, it's good to see Paulinho on the score sheet twice. Sam must have just been jumping through walls and going ballistic, but it was nice to see him. I think the Jokeres arrival maybe lit a fire under him. Who knows? But happy to see that we have at least two strikers that are, if not scoring, creating lots of chances. And
What did you think about like them playing three at the front with like? I mean, I'll be honest. It seemed like Jokeres was the one that was drifting out wide more.
Yeah, he seemed to be more out wide, while Paulinho, to me, it looked like on first inspection was kind of drifting more centrally. Yeah. So I'm wondering if that, but it suited
Jokeres. I mean, he loves chasing down the channel. So I mean,
he gives me Thiago Tomas vibe, where he just run like in a good way, where Thiago Tomas will run his ass off. Like he'll chase down every ball. Now Thiago Tomas also suffered from I'm out of position a lot, so I got to run to get back into position. But he would chase, but on the good end, like he was busting his ass to run to every loose ball, and I get the same vibe from Jokeres in that sense. I think if it keeps working, you keep getting results, and they keep playing relatively well, I'm fine with rolling the two of them in a front three. Like it doesn't bother me none. Now that might change as Koolman gets more acquainted to the team and starts getting more midfield minutes. You probably end up shifting Pot back up to the wing unless you decide to roll with him in midfield and Marita shifts to bench. Although I would bet on the former rather than the latter.
Mm-hmm.
There is some players this season who are going to have make or break seasons, in my opinion. I think the arrival of Humlin makes this a make or break season for Daniel Bragança.
Yes.
I think this is a make or break season for Marcus Edwards as well.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
I think, well, not make or break, but like they either make the jump or they they make a downgrade. Bragança's next move is a permanent move to Vizela. It's not like a.
It's not going to be an upgrade.
It's not, moving to Real Madrid or something.
It's going to be a downgrade to like a lateral move at best.
Yeah.
So he's got and it's not entirely his fault. Like he's been hurt. So you feel for the guy, but yeah, I think.
And now he just has their second most expensive player kind of plays his position that we've just signed.
Yeah. So he's gonna have to. Now he did train with the team today, so that is something. But back to this game, no real complaints. It would have been nice to not keep it as close. I know we're gonna get into the offside goal in a bit, so I won't touch too much on that. A win's a win. At the end of the day, we'll take it. We have a relatively tame. Outside of Braga, like a relatively tame first month and a half, 2 months. So spam the points now, especially if every week's going to be a close game, not just with us, but with all the kind of the top four. Like everyone's had a pretty close or pretty chaotic game in these first 2 weeks. So
exactly.
So we'll take them, and we move. Yeah.
And for myself, really quickly. I think Paulinho is going to benefit a lot if we play this two striker sort of thing, because Jokeres will be or Jokeres, whatever his name is, they'll be the focal point of our of the defenders focus, right?
I think as well, just to cut you off, it takes pressure off of each other if they're both out there.
Of course, yeah. You
don't have to sit there and say, well, Paulinho's the main striker playing today, he's got to score. You have two guys out there, so it alleviates some of that that fan pressured expectation off of both guys, which I think
Yeah.
is just a good thing for them both mentally.
Especially for Paulinho, because we see him, like he struggles on that, right? Yeah, I mean, nothing more to say other than that. Like, Morita hasn't really like impressed me so far this season.
I think that this was his worst game in a while.
I agree.
It happens, but
for sure.
It's not exactly the greatest time to have that happen when there's never been more competition in the midfield than there is right now.
Exactly. And like even like the Bragança shouts that we were saying earlier, like I can see Bragança and Hulman like dominating that midfield for the rest of the season. Hopefully, if Bragança can find his feet, because that first half against who was it again that we played last week? Vizela, yes, that first half was incredible, and Bragança was like important for that. So that can't be forgotten. Edwards, I think we'll touch on it later on in terms of this rumor that kind of doesn't want to die, but I don't know, man. Like I have not been impressed with him at all so far since the preseason.
Yeah, he's been a bit lackluster.
Yeah. And then I feel like Diomande and Adan have to share fault for that goal. Diomande plays him onside stupidly. Like why are we not?
And Adan just doesn't
in the line. And then Adan is just fucking useless. Just want to mention like something we said on our group chat like yesterday. Like how is guys like Luis Felipe or not Luis Felipe, sorry,
Luis Junior from
Famalicão, the boy from Morocco that's about to go to Benfica. Like how are they not getting
even
a look
I saw it today. It was Livakovic from Croatia. I'm like, man, even
he's going to
7, 8. I think it's going to be anywhere between like 7 and 10 million. I'm like, man, like we could. I mean, if we got one more decent transfer, we could easily make that move, and I'd be happy with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
where's he going? He's not even going to like any special team.
Isn't he? He's going to Turkey, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, to Galler, Fenerbahce.
I think it's Galatasaray. I think it's a Galatasaray. Galatasaray
like,
has been moving this transfer window.
Yeah, they've been going crazy.
Yeah, even like I think his price tag was rumored to be like 7 to 10 million euros. Like, man, like that, I'd pay that for like a bona fide starting goalie in a heartbeat.
100%.
Like twice on Sundays, I'd take that. Dude was a monster during the World Cup, and you're bouncing up on guys like that. That's what frustrates me about the goaltending situation.
Yeah. No, he's a good keeper, and in his prime right now, he's like 27, 28. Like,
yeah,
we can have him for like 5 years. We can sell him still and make a profit off of him. So, I'm with you there. I don't understand that. Yeah. But anyways, I digress. Let's move on to the controversial call. I had the images here. Let me just quickly pull it up.
Don't play video. We'll get flagged. Sport TV will flag our asses so quick.
I got you.
They still flagged us for our Alcachette video, I think.
Good for them, man.
Good for them. Like, I respect them. We cut their word mark and shit out, I think, or Sam did, and we still got flagged by them. And I think them and CMTV flagged us, but screw you guys.
CMTV is the biggest fucking.
Oh, they're too busy. They're ones to talk, playing a pirated stream.
Yeah, that was incredible content.
That was a good day to be on the internet. I will tell you that.
And then like they got called out, so all they did was just like zoom it in more, so you couldn't see like the ads on the side, but it like cut off the scoreboard.
In like on the end and stuff. I'm like, man, like, that's bro. I got streams that aren't even that like down bad.
Let me see. Let me know if you guys see that.
Zoom it in a little bit more if you can.
Oh yeah, if you can zoom in a tad more.
Let's see. Does this do any difference? I don't think it does. I think the background just zooms.
Yeah, it's just
your background. It's all right. Zoom in once more.
No big deal.
And you should be good. But yeah, that's about as good as it's gonna get.
Anyways, 9 centimeters offside. This is a good one.
First off, how does something like this happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me tell you how. I didn't see the foot either. Like you kind of missed.
I can't see the foot.
I saw the foot instantly. And I was like, "Wow, this might be off." Damn, that's crazy. Yeah. And then it wasn't. I was like, "Oh shit, we're good." Because here's the thing. Like, I think the line from the Casa Pia player is drawn on his leg or knee, right?
Mm-hmm. I think so. Yeah.
It kind of looks like to the naked eye that his shoulder is further back than his knee.
Like, I can get that.
I'm looking with my
spectacles. I don't really. Maybe if you pull it up on Twitter and then like zoom in on it.
No, I have it here. I just don't want to right here.
Because on first glance, I'm like,
because
I'm like,
I
it's gonna
saw
be
that
close.
foot and it gave me concern immediately on the first replay.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit!
On first glance, when I watch it, because it goes by quick, I'm thinking nothing of it. And then when you see the slow mo, you're like, ooh, that's gonna be really tight. Like he might just be on, or he might just be off.
Here's the thing, though. I am on the record of saying any decision under 10 cm should not be
It's a
altered.
joke. Yeah, exactly.
So I
think
mean,
you're
I'm gonna be
playing
honest.
with
Like,
fire at
even
that
with
point.
the 9, is it the right body part? Again, this isn't an exactly perfect angle.
I say we
It's not a
as
bad
people
line. It's
scrap
not a
off
bad. It's not a bad angle. But again, it's not a perfect angle. So I'm gonna be honest. Even with that line, in my perfect world, this goal isn't being overturned. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I obviously like like on the news and stuff, like they love this shit, right? It's like
Yeah.
they're
It's cannon fodder. This is
it's
a broad 2-go.
this is absolutely catnip. But like, I really don't think that it is like even a bad decision.
Don't hit play.
No.
Begging you not to hit play.
I'm getting back to this.
All right,
We're good.
yeah.
We're good. I know what I'm doing.
It's better. Yeah, I'm kind of with Chris. Like anything like 10 centimeters or under, like you're being kind of harsh. I've also just been in favor of fucking scrap the offside rule. Like, and for the people complaining, well, someone's gonna be at that, and they've got 11 guys. You got 11 guys.
That's crazy.
You got the same amount of dudes on the field.
That's
You can
crazy.
you can put a guy on them.
It would make the end of games crazy.
Yeah,
It would make the end of games amazing.
Bear cherry picking, man.
It would just be launching into the 18 with like heads and just bodies in there.
Constant.
I'll tell you one thing, bro. Kawach is getting bear goals,
but the thing
bro.
is, counterattacks would be amazing.
It'd be looking like the end of that fucking Inter Miami Nashville final. There's like just 6
Oh,
counterattacks
God.
at the end.
Back and forth.
I mean, I'm with you as well, right? I think it was even Connor Murphy.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was even the one telling us like the lines can be easily manipulated within 10 centimeters, right? So we've been on record saying this. I find it kind of ridiculous the rival fans coming out saying like this is like such an obvious error, blah blah blah. When people watching it, I don't know like how many people actually did pick. Chris, you might be the only like one of the only like 10 people watching this game that had picked up on the.
I'm gonna be honest. I think it's because his cleat was white. You know, maybe if it was a different color, it wouldn't have.
If it was like
so
black,
much.
we can easily say it's like the other player's legs or some shit
You
like
would
that.
know for sure, yeah. But because it's such a bright color, it's like oh shit, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so sick and tired of this rule. I feel like most fans are so like have complained about this VAR ruling a million times, like how like a toenail can be offside and we're calling it. Mm-hmm. So for everybody to be up in arms about 9 centimeters, like.
And I'm gonna be honest, if this was another team, like I like to think I would have the same take, you know?
Yeah, no,
yeah,
I'm with you. I mean, listen, 9 centimeters.
They're making it sound like 9 centimeters.
9 centimeters, and I'm not even sure that the line is drawn from the right spot.
Yeah,
exactly. Rich, did you take the dick joke, or was I about to
I took the dick joke from you, baby.
I was gonna say if 9 centimeters is that big, bro, then like. You know, how is my girl complaining or something? I'm like, what's going on here, bro?
Some of us out here are living. Let's go.
Oh, now all of a sudden 9 centimeters.
9 centimeters is now it's a big deal.
Before it was nothing. Now it's okay.
You know what? Now that I think about it, 9 centimeters is a lot. It's pretty big.
Yeah,
so you know, fair enough. Like,
so they should have called.
Fair enough to rival fans. Listen, at the end of the day, I mean, we seen red cards this week. The only thing that pisses me off is this apology when like. They've never done an apology before ever either.
It's weird.
It's like, oh, and whatchamacallit, Hugo Miguel. Is Hugo Miguel just permanently fired now? Like
he better be. Hey, listen, if this is the outcome of that,
there's no love lost for Hugo Miguel, but like it just seems like they kind of threw his ass under the bus. I'll be honest.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, but they'll throw his ass under the bus for themselves. I don't mind coming out with an apology if it's something they're going to do all the time. If it's like you got to run it like the NBA. Like the NBA does it all the time, where it's like, hey, you know what? We came out like this was the call we made.
Well, they publish refereeing report cards for every game, right? Yeah,
exactly.
And they'll sit there and say, you know what? Like we got this call, but we did miss this call. And all it does is it like I don't mind because it holds your refs accountable at the end of the day.
Exactly.
And if you're gonna do that consistently and say, yes, we did this call and it was right, you know what, we missed this call and this should have been the call, blah blah. I respect it because at least
they are just not doing that consistently.
They're not, and that's the problem is they won't do it consistently. If you're gonna do it consistently, I have no issue with it, but they won't. They're gonna cherry pick when they do it. That's the issue.
And also, if this was like Estoril or Ruka, they would have even made a statement or
it wouldn't even been in the news.
Yeah.
Or even admitted to it.
Yeah.
Probably.
It wouldn't have been in the news. No one would have thought anything of it. That's the problem.
Exactly. I'm with you boys there. That's pretty much it for this game. I mean, this was the main topic.
We can talk about the Edwards incident. I mean,
Edwards.
I'll be honest.
I think it's soft though.
It's
personally,
so soft. It's so soft.
Yeah.
It's so soft.
I didn't even think of it.
Yeah, I think that it's a bad look for the Sporting fans that were like really going to the mat about that one being a penalty kick.
Settle down.
It's soft. It's soft. I mean, I've seen it called, right? And I've seen them go back on the VAR. Sometimes it seems like the VAR is almost looking to try to do something. It's like, all right, let me see what I can find here to overturn this.
Can we come up with today?
Or like, let me see what contact I can find to make this a pen. So yeah, if you're doing VAR like that, you could have turned that into a pen relatively easily. But for me, at least, it's just soft.
I yield to you as well. I agree with that.
Same.
It would have been very soft and I think like harsh to call that a pen. I wouldn't have called it personally, so I agree.
Yeah.
Not every little touch of people's feet in the box is a foul, you know.
No, like you're playing in the calamity that is football/soccer. Your feet are gonna hit each other.
Yeah, people can brush up against each other sometimes, even in the penalty box, and it not be a foul.
Like unless you're trying to, really keen someone's leg out, like most times like the contact is incidental or it's usually harmless. Like let's calm down, people.
Yeah. Mind you, I get the Sporting fans. We needed to protect our team in some way. But if we had just remained patient for one extra day, that Benfica game had like 5 instances where we could just nitpick there and we would have been fine.
Yeah.
But
they don't. That's the thing. Sporting fans, we don't know how to. Well, I say we. Most of us don't know how to contain ourselves. We don't. We just can't.
Well, I mean, it's often a race to the bottom. So if you start throwing mud, you end up in places like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
With Portuguese and Benfica.
Yeah. I mean, it's not worth the time, Dari. The thing I always laugh at is like, it's rigged for this team. Like, man, if it's rigged for everybody, it's rigged for nobody. It's just incompetence at the end of the day. Let's call it what it is.
I mean, if it's rigged for Sporting, we have to be one of the worst teams.
We don't even know how to cheat. We're so dumb. That's an indictment of our club. If we're trying to fix games and this is all we've got to show for it, we're one of the dumbest run sport teams on the planet.
I will say I would love us to win the league by 3 points or by one, like tied on points, but like one goal difference. One goal.
I mean, here's the thing. Let's say we do win the league by 3 points in front of Benfica. It's like, are we not going to be able to go look back at Benfica's games and not find like 17 officiating errors that led to their point total?
Yeah, like
there's already 3 on the other game I can mention. There's 2 reds not shown and a clear penalty that wasn't given.
Yep.
That was given last or was even anyways. Man of the match. Goal point giving it to Paulinho.
I'll give it to Paulinho.
You'll give it to Paulinho as well. Fair enough.
He had a good game.
Chris?
Yeah. I mean, I mean, you can't. I don't think I could justify giving it to Jenny for just 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of an argument even to give it to Ishgayu, but he wasn't good enough.
6.2 from goal point, not the worst.
Yeah, an assist. No, he played well. He played well.
Yeah. The 6.0 for Coates and 6.1 from Morita are
a little generous. I should bump that down like 3-4 points for each guy.
I felt 5.2 for Nuno Sanchez a bit harsh. He did all right.
Yeah. Right. I wouldn't bump him up any more than like a 5.4 or 5.5 though.
Yeah,
I'd give him a 6. I would give him a 6.
6.1.
I would give him more of a 6.1. But yeah, I'm going with Paulinho for my man of the match too.
Okay, so it's a Paulinho hat trick. It's clean sweep from the man.
Leading scorer, Liga BetClick leading scorer. Actually, he's tied joint leading scorer with Brozovic.
Yes, from
goals in him.
Boavista. I'm just trying to get him into my fantasy team this week, but
I put Paulinho into my fantasy team for next week already. So
nah, fuck that. Fuck.
I need the fucking points. I dropped down to third. I'm in a sporting group chat when I
guys
dropped
are
down like
chasing.
seventh.
You guys are chasing.
Actually, no, I'm
the
tied with
master.
you, Danny.
Facts.
I think.
You're running. We'll get into it right after these Twitter questions.
Yeah, we got Twitter
Chris,
questions. Let's get
You're
into
running
it.
away with it right now, bro. I was looking at the score last night. I was like,
Yeah, Chris, you're gonna just beat the fucking shit out of all of us.
What, I got 32 weeks to go. Plenty of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So first question comes in from Paul Rodriguez at Paul J Rod. He asks, what positions need to be targeted before the transfer window closes? Do you have faith that Varandas and the SAD will buy more players? Let me go one by one. So let me start, Rich. Let me start with you first.
Yep.
What positions need to be targeted before the transfer window?
At minimum, I think they should go for a right wing back. I think.
Which
It's
seems
nothing
like they're
against-
on it.
It seemed like
We'll get there.
they've been sniffing around like, who's the guy from Brighton? Lamptey. But that
All in
keeps
all.
coming.
Those died,
But
though.
that keeps like heating up for a day and then dying off like 2 days later.
Played for the under 21s at Brighton.
Zanoli seems to be. I thought he was done, but it kind of seems like he's coming back again.
The big one, which has kind of been off and on, but a little bit more on lately, is Fresneda from Alvalade.
He's got a lot of big money suitors. Is the problem there? I would.
That's the thing. They're going to face, I think, a lot more stiff competition for him than they do for Zainoli right now.
But that's how we won. That's how we won Thick Vic.
Thicky Vic.
That's how we won. Hulman was also linked to like Milan for a bit there.
So they've had a good window. I think they've shored up the two positions that need to be shored up. Outside of right back and keeper, like I think
we can dream about keeper, but it's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna. I don't think keeper happens this offseason. I think that's a next offseason problem. They're gonna cross the bridge when they come to it. I think I'd be happy if they just get a right back, or like a right fullback. I wouldn't oppose a left back either, but I think they might just roll with what they have right now in that position because I think you have more of a bona fide starter in Nuno Santos there. So I think right back. No offense to Gaio, who's actually looked decent both in preseason and the first two games, but I still wouldn't want to roll with him, especially with European football, as my starter. I don't think he could last.
For sure. Chris, do you have faith that Varandas and the SAD will buy more players? If we do know one thing about this administration, they love a deadline day.
Do a deadline.
I actually think that there's going to be some more movement. We may even see. It seems like Jovan is gone. But there may even be a few more outgoings as well. Asugo linked to a loan. So I think that there will certainly be some more movement before it's all said and done, both in and out.
I think you get at least one more in. And you probably get at minimum. Jovan's already in Italy, so we know there's a minimum one more out. You probably get another one out, which, like you said, might be a Sugo. So I think that's probably at minimum the business we can expect. There might be one or two more surprises, but I think that's a reasonable expectation. Is those two outgoing and maybe one incoming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, facts. Continue with Gyökeres and Paulinho up top. I'll quickly answer that. I think we will. I think it'll depend on the game. There might be games where Pot and Edwards are up top, or Pot and Trincão with Gyökeres or Paulinho in the middle. I think I don't think we're gonna settle on an 11, aside from like maybe a go-to back three and maybe like a midfield partnership. I feel like the wing backs are going to constantly chop and change between Nuno Santos and Reis, for example. And if we get a right back, Gaio and that right back, and even Geni. But the front three I feel like will constantly change. And then last one, I'll ask all of us. Time for Hulman to start. Is Morita Pot midfield being out-muscled too often? I'll put it this way. Your go-to two midfielders next game. I'll go with I want to see Hulman and Bragança. I think they'll complement each other well. I'll work my way up, Chris.
I think that Hulman has to start just because of the pedigree and the characteristics. And then I think that other spot is going to be up for competition between Bragança and Morita mostly. Maybe Bragança will spell Hulman sometimes. But, I think coming off of the Morita game that he had, I wouldn't mind seeing it against a Hulman midfield in the next game.
Chris took the words right out of my mouth, basically. I think Hulman should start. And then I do think it will be Braganza just because Morita didn't look great. That being said, I could see it being a Hulman midfield for the most part, and then you might see Braganza and Morita kind of swap here and there, and then the odd game where Hulman needs a rest, you might see Braganza Morita midfield. And like we said, if they do decide to keep going with Jokeres and Paulinho up top, we might even see Pot shift back into midfield if they decide they want to use Edwards and Trincão, right? Which is, it's not bad. It's nice to have this kind of flexibility. We haven't had that flexibility.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like Asuga was buried in the depth chart before we even had depth, but now we have a little bit of depth, and that man is
it's nice to have
buried.
It's nice to have the flexibility. It's nice to have guys who can play more than one position and adapt. So it's never a bad thing that we have 3 to 5 capable midfielders, as well as like 3 or 4 like guys who can easily shift to the wing if needed as well. So it's never a negative.
Yeah, exactly. I actually was just thinking. I think probably for next game, I think Paulinho's going to keep his spot.
So I think Paulinho will keep the spot.
Yeah, so maybe Trincão on the other wing, Jokeres obviously, and then Pot Hulman in the midfield. I would think.
That's an intriguing thought. Actually, I would
prefer Pot up top though. I feel like we lose a lot of Pot's like main.
Up top.
I honestly could see that for like a European game, a Pot Hulman midfield.
True. That might be what they're thinking.
Actually, not really. I'd see it more like like against a little team where we're gonna dominate possession. Because Pot in the midfield, he's out there, bro. He's just
but Hulman, I feel like in low key like I mean, I'm not saying it for against like Arsenal, but I mean like a Astana type or something like that.
Yeah, true.
Sorry,
for a second, I thought we were in the Champions League. I forgot we were in the Europa.
No, we're just in the Europa. As long as it's not Las Balins, Rolla seems to just destroy our hopes and dreams in the Europa League.
Next question comes in from our boy Nuno Gabriel at Cativalens. Do you guys think that will pay for the VAR mistake in that first goal?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
You can never predict Portuguese football, right? Like,
yeah, I think we're gonna get missed calls all the time, anyways. I don't think it'll.
Every game has
correlated.
We had one game last year where like one weekend where it's like, wow, there was like no bad calls in any game. Like it was just a really well officiated weekend. You get maybe 1 or 2 of those a year. Like 1 or 2 of those a season, I doubt we're gonna have one call we're gonna be pissed off about at some point, like, and we're gonna be saying we got ripped off. It happens to at least one team every week, so whether next week is our turn or not, we'll see. But we will have one call where we'll be really pissed off about at some point. It might be soon, it might be never. Who knows?
Yeah. Facts. And I'll just go to the last question at Leon 49ers. Faithful RI49. Is Jokeres the best Sporting striker of all time, and why is the answer yes?
He's got the best nickname. So I think
it's up there.
It's up there. It's like him
between Thicky Vicky and Levzinho. I don't know who's better.
Levzinho are the two big
One
boys.
seems heavy, the other one seems light.
Ask me in like a decade.
Yeah, I feel like 6 to 10 years, and we might have. We need some time to collect the data here, my friend.
He's got a shot. He's got a shot, though.
He's got a shot to maybe even be better than Slimani. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Similar build.
He's already better than the Carlos Soleidos of the world, but.
True. And like Castaños, Hernan Barcos, all those dumbass Andre, all those dumbass strikers that literally scored like 1 goal in like their entire career at Sporting, like he's already ahead of them.
Exactly.
Has he caught up with? He's not yet caught up with the Postigas of the world, so we got to give him some time.
Let me bring up, because we were just talking about fantasy, our fantasy league.
Okay, so we're tied, me and you, Danny.
We're tied, yeah. I was hyped a bit. I was like, yeah, let's go second place. These guys.
Right, you saw.
These guys were at me last week, bro.
Chris
I
is
noticed I was
Chris is
panicking.
just shit stomping the hell out of the rest of us.
Yeah.
Only 15-point gap, you know.
Yeah, you're gonna run away. This is like gonna be FPL style. You're just gonna run away with it, I think.
I was
already.
actually thinking. I think at least 3 of us had Vic as our captain,
Yeah.
and I was like, if I risk it and change it, I could maybe get more than the others. But maybe it's better to just like our captain all is the same, and then like the others will make the difference.
Well, it would
The
be like
strategy is gonna change. I feel like now for everybody. Like
it would be like Holland. Like everybody has Holland captain in Premier League.
Yeah.
Like FPL, right? So like it's not.
So if you
like,
risk
have to
it
rely
and
on
then he
everybody
pops
else.
off, like 80% of the people get the benefits, and you're one of the few that doesn't. But
Yeah.
you know, yeah, the risk versus reward.
Yeah.
Let's see who got the most points. We'll start with Sam's this
Sam
week.
got 41.
Start at the bottom. Where's they don't have the images on here or something? Oh, it's Sam.
There we go. So we got
Sam was pissed about Navarro.
I got Navarro in my team, and like I'm pissed with him. Right? I switched him out for Paulinho. I'm pissed with
Di Maria did not want to score. He could have had 3.
Did not.
I'm surprised Sam has these guy on his team.
Got the assist though. That's nice.
You got an assist, so you got him some points.
Oh.
He's got an interesting team, actually.
Decent week. Let me see the bench.
Bruno
Varela on the bench. That hurts a bit. Actually,
I think I had Bruno Varela starting for me.
Let's go.
If I'm not mistaken. Fubar is. All right.
Yeah, you had Bruno Varela starting, Gaspar, Otamendi as well, Abel Ruiz, Junqueras, Navarro.
Yeah, Navarro really let me down.
Got the wrong Horta.
Got the wrong Horta. Yeah. I might have to do some finagling to try to get the.
His brother's probably pricier though.
Oh, he's way pricier. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I'll have to do like some finagling.
Yeah.
You would have to like probably switch out Pot. Or I don't know how expensive your strikers are.
I switched out Navarro for Paulinho already. I think I still have 2 mil, but it's like with transfer a week.
I like keeping a little in my budget. If your like budget is like
that's the thing.
0,
I've got like 2. I think I got like 2 million.
It gives you limited flexibility when you want to try to make a change. I feel like
I have like 2.5 in my budget right now, so that's gonna give me some flexibility for next week's free transfer.
You see, I normally do that as well, but. Not this week, not this year. I've been
I had
Wendell start. Oh,
Wendell really let you down.
Oh, see, it auto players but don't play, but you had too many players that didn't play, so it didn't matter.
I made a mistake on Alipur. I thought he would be back by now.
Yeah.
And I had to swap out my 2 strikers. So I got Leonardo Ruiz, Sporting, and I got or no, who else did I swap then? I swapped somebody else. I can't remember now. But anyways, not a great week, not a bad week. Tony Silva is doing well. I think Rafa's going to be huge for me. I don't know if anybody else has Rafa, unless it's.
I thought about getting Rafa.
You might be the only one with Rafa. I think you might be the only one with Rafa.
Yeah, that's one that
I think out of Horta, so that's not bad. I think I'm going to try to get Fujimoto in my team. He's been doing well.
Yeah. I'm thinking of a Rafa and Ricardo Horta for my team. That's why I want to keep a bit of budget.
Thank God Tomas Silva was not in my team.
Thank God you didn't have Tomas.
And literally all of us have Steven Vittoria. I love that. He's not getting any burn this year, though.
One game. I think he played 90 and then he played 0, right?
Yeah.
Tough.
So we'll wait and see on that one.
Yeah.
Good. I think it's like a good safe pick to have.
No Braga game this week, so don't start Braga players. Heads up.
That's good. That's a good. It's good to know.
But that's probably going to mean there's going to be a double Braga match week coming up.
Eventually.
So it's going to be like, all right, let me get an extra Braga player or 2 for this week, you know?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the leaderboard right now. Chris has a 16-point lead from me and Rich.
Yeah.
Sam's right there, though. Sam's just 3 points behind us.
He's only 3 points behind us, so
yeah.
All fight for it. We never set like what the winner gets for this, by the way. We should.
Bragging rights.
Pride. Glory.
The winner gets to pick what the next thumbnail will be or something.
Me and Sam already do that anyways.
Oh, I didn't realize, Caleb.
I already filled in for game week 3, yeah.
So this is spoilers ahead for next week, boys. For everybody watching at least.
Yeah.
But this week we had so I got no points.
Brutal.
I had Gyökeres and Pot scoring.
I thought you didn't get a point for at least getting the fact that the great team won.
Oh, is that how it
true.
is?
You should get a point for the team that
fair,
wins. Yeah, so you should get 1 point.
Yo, see, I'm getting rigged out here, eh?
I'm not the one who made the list. I just filled in my shit.
Yeah,
I just filled in my scores. So yeah, you got.
Let me change that up.
Yeah.
Sam, what the heck? 3 points, right?
Yeah.
Let me put that in. Where Sam's in third.
Because what the shit?
Yeah, Sam, I'm coming for you.
Sam.
Bro.
Yeah, because you still got the right team won, so that's at least a point. Me and Chris both got the correct score line. We didn't have any of the score. We didn't get the scorers.
Yeah.
If Yoketas scores for us, we widen the lead on both you guys, and if one of us got our second score, we would have flown away with it.
I was gonna say, watch us next week. All go for like Paulinho to score, and
he won't score. I've already gone for Paulinho. Yeah. I've gone for 3 different scores to try to mix it up. So I've gone 3-1. I've gone Paulinho, Yoketas, and Pot. So we've gone a little adventurous with 3 different scores. So we have 3 chances to hit and get the extra point.
I've been going with Pot all these weeks, so I think I have to like continue it because eventually he'll score.
He's gonna hit at some point, and it's gonna be mad. It's gonna be a big point.
It's gonna be the week I don't pick him, I'd say.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
That's how it always is.
That's the leaderboard right now in terms of predictions. Richard and Chris also tied for first. I'm in second with 3 points. Sam, coming for you, bro. And Sam's in third. Let's get into a little more sporting news. Let me just bring up
a few little bits and bobs that broke throughout the week.
Let's get into a fun one because I seen personally today. I was at the gym when it came out.
Oh yes, this is a really fun one. Let's
the Saudi Arabian propaganda with Otavio going to Al Nassr, and
what an announcement from Al Nassr by the way today for Otavio.
Crazy.
Yeah,
I feel for any Porto fan that had to watch that. That's brutal.
I'm gonna be real. I don't think there's any like mid-aged Portuguese guy in Portugal ever saying those great
ever
things
had
about
that
Saudi
conversation
Arabia.
with his kid.
There's no, that too though.
I feel for
if you're having that conversation with your kid and you are not on the payroll, get help, man.
Seek help. Stop it. Get some help.
Facts.
Yeah, I feel for any Porto fan that had to watch that today. I'm so sorry you had to deal with that.
How do you guys actually
cross enemy lines like?
Yeah. Since we're here though, before Marcus Edwards rumors over there, what do you guys make of Moutinho coming back to Portugal?
It doesn't shock me.
It seems like it's stalling out, is it not?
Stalled though. Like I'm surprised he's not gone anywhere. Even Braga, I'm surprised hasn't picked him up.
No, the latest rumor is that he signed for Porto.
It was in negotiations with Braga, and then Porto hijacked it. That was
and then the Porto negotiations fell apart apparently
because Sergio Conceição got pissed, and he's like, "You sold Otavio, and you brought me this old guy. I'm gonna quit." So now it's like delayed, I think.
But I think he's already what I've last read is that he's already signed. They're just waiting for an opportune time to announce him.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? There's no time like that.
When is it going to be opportune? When there's like I guess not the same day that like Saudi propaganda is going down.
They probably want to wait like a couple days for like the dust to settle on that if it's true that he's already got a deal in place.
Yeah,
but at the same time, it's like it's week 2, bro. Get him in training.
Get him going. Like let's go.
What are you waiting for?
He's already had no preseason at 36.
Yeah.
Older. He's like 37, 38.
I think he's 37 in September. So like almost 37. Yeah.
So there we go.
No, he's no spring chicken.
The only other thing that shocks me there is okay, you're getting 60 million. You're getting a midfielder for free to replace Otavio, who basically played everywhere. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And you're getting a guy who can't play a full 90.
Yeah.
He'll give you a hell of a 60 minutes for sure, but he can't play a full 90 anymore. You know, he'll bust his ass for 60 minutes, but
well, I mean, we'll wait to see. I mean, I'm not complaining. Hey, man, if Moutinho doesn't work out for them, even better. We'll get into Marcus Edwards on the star. Are we? Fair. Are we buying any of this? Is Richard? Do you think this can possibly happen?
There's been smoke. That's what's concerning. Here's the thing. I'm gonna say this to all Sportingistas right now. if he's going, we're probably getting at or around the release clause of 60 million.
Mm-hmm.
So we're making bank.
Facts.
That being said, do I think he would go unless they're offering stupid money when he could go to England? It just doesn't make sense. Now, we've said that for a lot of guys going to play in the lovely kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I'm not paid, but if they want to pay me, they know where to find me. I don't know. I don't. There's enough smoke to make me at least question it. I don't think it's a full blown fire yet. I think unless we keep hearing about it like day in, day out, like we do for some other transfers, I just don't see it happening. He's not. Chris said it in the group chat earlier. He's just not a big enough name. For Saudi, he's not.
When you look at what's happening with Jota right now,
yeah, he's not a house like a big enough household name to splash that amount of cash on, unless it's something they feel is like a long term plan, like go for it. But I don't know. I could be dead wrong, and he could be moving like tomorrow. But I don't see him moving. I won't complain if he moves because it means we're probably getting a fucking bag. And we have a lot of guys who can play wing, so it wouldn't be the end of the world necessarily. Yeah. But
we would probably grab a guy too.
They might grab a guy. They might just work with what they have. Enough guys who can play wing that they might decide to work with what they have. You still have Paul Trincao. You could shift Nuno Santos to wing because he was a winger before. You have Katamo, who's a natural winger.
Alfonso Moreira
as well. Like you've got it would stink to lose them because you're losing a big piece, but you've got enough options where it wouldn't hurt too much.
Let me throw this name out there because I feel like it would be a realistic option if he were to leave. Ricardo Horta.
Ooh.
I mean? Like, I can see that. He's an Amorim guy, Like,
he is an Amorim guy.
We've been linked to him before he was linked, like, heavily to Benfica, right?
So, all last offseason.
Here's the problem with that. You have to deal with the clusterfuck that is, like, the Malaga lawsuit.
Yep.
And Malaga's in Div 3, so they're going to clusterfuck the hell out of that. They want the money.
Of course, yeah.
So is it a headache worth putting up with? Even if you have no problem with the transfer fee and you're like, yeah, we'll give you 15, 20 million, whatever they ask. Is it worth the headache of trying to deal with Malaga as well? My uneducated.
And doesn't like George Menz himself own like 20% of his pass somehow? I remember the pass, a graphic of like a pie chart, and it was like
all the guys who all
and it was like it was owned by like 7 different entities, bro. It was so fucked. It was like a throwback to the good old days of like the Doyen era and shit like that. I was like,
it was a throwback to like
about a decade ago. Even allowed any of this?
Still, yeah, that's the thing. I love Ricardo Horta. I'm a big Ricardo Horta guy. I think he's a guy who should have moved. No offense to Braga, to a bigger club. Even just outside of Portugal, he's a good player, and I think he's a guy who in the recent years should have gotten more burden with the national team. That being said, I just don't know that I want to put up with Malaga more than anything. Like, I'm used to dealing with Braga and their shenanigans. It's now you have this other third party who's really going to have a lot more shenanigans. Do you really want to put up with it? My gut says no, just don't bother.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Just the name I thought of. I actually totally forgot about.
I love the name. I'm with you on that. It's the extenuating circumstances that make me hesitate.
Yeah. No, I actually completely forgot.
I love the name, brother. Keep drawing.
I know it'd be a sick move. I think but
a big fan of his work.
Let me bring in another rumor that Fabrizio Romano was gassing us all up the other day, saying that the closest for Fresneda or whatever his name is, Fresneda. There we go.
That's what I'm calling him.
Yeah. No, I like that. Ivan. We used to have an Ivan at right back too. Ivan Pierce, I think. Ivan. Anyways, he was decent. I liked him. But anyways, Fresneda. On his big talent, 18 years old, Valladolid, being linked to everybody. And then some heavy links were to Chelsea, to Arsenal. Mm. Like I said, Fabrizio Romano said Sporting are favorites at one point. Thoughts on this player, and do you guys think we're gonna eventually get it? I'm a little worried because it's another young winger. It's like I mean, we've completely forgotten about a Stivj, and he's more or less around the same age. I mean,
Yeah.
sure, this guy might be a
Stivs
lot
is older,
better.
actually.
There you go. But I
2
mean,
years
we've
older
already
than him.
completely burnt him out. Are we just gonna get all this hyped up for each guy to be starting week in, week
It
out?
gives me Jose Marza vibes, where there was all this hype around him coming in, and he never was really able to establish himself. That's my
He's gonna come in for a
worry.
fatter fee though if he does come in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the
Marza
thing.
was
He's got
free,
more.
right?
He's got more pressure on him. He's gonna get more money.
Yeah,
From
I
Barca,
think.
yeah.
Yeah, his contract ended at Barca, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is we could it could be a Jose Marza 2.0, so that's my only hesitancy. I haven't
Contract
watched.
hasn't been sold yet. Like
I'm
everyone knew
surprised
Valladolid
I'm
was.
surprised they've dragged it out this long, considering they're down in Div.
Was he really gonna play in La Liga 2 this season? Like,
Yeah.
Because they sold a couple guys like almost instantly once they got relegated.
Yeah. But on a likelihood, what would you rate it out of 1 to 10, Rich?
6.
6.
yep,
6.
that's what I was
I'll
thinking.
give him
Like
just.
6.
I'll give him just above 50, because he's been linked for at least a month or so now, like off and on, which makes me think like they're at least trying. But it's never gotten farther than they're just talking about the player with Valladolid. So that's what makes me, the other 40% think nothing's going to happen. But it's nice to know they're trying at least, especially with they don't know what's going on with Zanoli yet. They're trying, but no one really knows what's happening with him either. So
I think Zanoli's even like further. I put him at like a 3 in terms.
I
of
put him at like a 3.5, 3. Yeah.
And I think that's like our number one choice if we were to get one, right? Like
If we had our pick, like
yeah, he was the number 1 pick. I don't know if Fresneda is now the number 1 pick or not.
Yeah, it would seem so. At least
3
right?
guys now that we wanted as number 1.
Yeah, I
But
think
he's the
that
one
I
we've been
would
linked to the
say
longest.
Fresneda is the new main target.
Yeah, fair. Matt's saying that for the fee, at least he's splitting games with these guys for sure.
I think.
I would hope so, but
at this point, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
For an 18-year-old, you gotta split him. You can't just throw him to the wolves.
I'm sure Bellerin's loan wasn't a cheap one, and he still barely got any burn. So
yeah,
I don't know, man.
It's an 18-year-old too. You can't just throw every 18-year-olds to the fucking wolves. They're not Nuno Mensch. Like you gotta understand, like players like that don't come around all the time.
Yeah,
you gotta be a little more patient with some of these kids.
Exactly. I was looking for at least a post with maybe all 3. This happened just after our last podcast. We had renewals for Gonçalo Inácio with a release clause of 60 million.
3 renewals.
We had a Pot renewal. Did Pot's release clause get increased? I don't think it was, right?
It didn't specify the release clause was increased, which makes me think it's about the same.
Yeah, and then even Nuno Santos as well, not increased. But
yeah, his I know stayed the same.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, all 3. Let me just confirm here. All 3 until 2027, which is good, especially for Pot and Inácio. I think Pot and Inácio were the ones more likely linked away. Yeah, exactly. Nuno Santos not so much. But what sort of statement do you guys make of this? I mean, obviously it's a big one, right? Is this all or nothing, or is this clearly us pushing for the league because it's now or never, or what?
No, I don't look at it as that. I think it's them just protecting their asses and protecting their assets.
Yeah.
And just saying this is the team. Like ideally, these are the guys we want to keep building around or building with.
Yeah.
And until we get an offer that is what we value them at, these are our main guys. This is kind of the core of the team. So I don't see it as a do or die for any season. I think I see it more just a long term, just this is what we're building with, and if we get the bag, we'll take the bag, but you got to offer us the bag kind of thing. That's how I see it. I don't see it as any do or die thing necessarily.
Fair enough. No, I would agree with that too. And yeah, last one was the potential, it seems almost likely now, Jovan Cabral.
He's in Italy, so we know.
Yeah.
You know, this is pretty much done unless he fails his medical or something stupid. Like, it's
Can
pretty
happen.
well done.
We've already had a failed medical in this preseason.
Allegedly, allegedly failed medical already. So we'll see. Yeah, I kind of figured like there's no real space for Jovan on the team. We're loaded with wingers as is. It's going to be tough for him to get any minutes. Might as well loan him out and see if if he does well and they trigger the buy clause. Great, like he's an academy guy, right? Like it's pure profit.
Yeah,
it's pure profit. You're getting all of that. You're not splitting that with anybody, so you take it.
Yeah, I mean, I was on this podcast. I feel like for 2-3 years saying like, why aren't we selling him for 15? Like this 10 million.
There was a time when we could have, and it was Bubble Jovan coming out of the disaster of the first COVID years in 2020. Yeah. When he just went ballistic at the end when they came back from COVID, like in April or whatever, up until like July, he went fucking nuts. And that's when they could have sold him for 15. And then they didn't. And now we're here having this discussion.
Yeah. I mean, it's proof that timing is everything, right?
Yeah.
I think we were just unlucky also with Jovan in terms of not selling him. It seems like he was gone to Lazio, for example. But yeah, I mean, I wish him all the best. He's one of those players that I have an affinity for. I'll never forget his clutch moments against Porto in the Taça de Liga, and he's a baller, man. He's another one that just couldn't stay healthy, and then maybe I don't know, maybe he's bad in training or something.
He had all the makings of like a certified hood classic. He could have been a streets aren't gonna forget player, and he just was never able to put it together.
Facts. Chris, I don't know if you have any modalidades news.
I mean, they most of them haven't started yet. They typically
it's all preseason
start after the footy in like September or October. So there's not much. The Supertaça futsal Benfica Sporting is September 1st.
Yes, it's that Labor
Day. So
that's
in about a week and a half. So yeah, I mean, there's not much to report right now. Ladies had media day the other day, so they're just a bit behind the football. So yeah, not much to report right now. I mean, we've obviously made some new signings. Trevante left. We've made some new signings in basketball. Obviously, like, don't know how good any of them are until we see them in action. So not too much to report right now on that front.
And the ladies, it's understandable they're behind because like the World Cup just ended. So I think a lot of the European leagues are just a little bit more behind.
Yeah. Also, they just have like less teams in their league, so there's less games. So you don't need to start in August.
Yeah, they can start later and they can spread out the games a bit more as they please.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
They made a couple interesting signings.
The only reason the men have so much fixture congestion is they're trying to fucking milk every dollar out of them,
Yeah, they're too preoccupied with the guys. That's why. They made a couple interesting. They signed Canadian international Olivia Smith, I believe. They've signed who's the girl they got from Celtics? She looks
Jacinta something.
Jacinta. They made some interesting signings, so it could be an interesting season for them. I wish them luck. I always try to keep up with the ladies' team, so.
Facts. And I had something to say, but I forgot it. All right, lastly, I won't ask for predictions. We'll get into that next week, but let's just have a quick look at the table. I'll go over some other games really quickly. Boavista in front. So I'm going to talk about Boavista because they're like the fifth. In my eyes, they're the fifth biggest. Sorry, excuse me. They're the fourth biggest team in Portugal. Sorry if you're watching, Dave. In my eyes, at least, historically.
Damn, bro.
Dave will understand. Dave will understand because Braga's still a baby, bro.
Braga's got to win win a league title or a couple more cups to really push that narrative.
Yeah, probably not. They probably are the fourth biggest, but I'm just a piece of shit. But I mean, but Boavista's up there, so I'm glad to see.
Historically, they're a big club, yeah.
Boavista, Guimarães are up there still, so that's the table there. Braga, Benfica, right at the end there, 10th, 11th. Right now in relegation, Farense, Portimonense, Chaves, Estrela also.
Portimonense, absolutely horrible, man.
They're my prime candidate to get sent down this year.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like I said in the beginning,
who's your relegation candidates actually? Because I'm sticking with Portimonense.
It's tough to
Yeah.
not have them as an early favorite.
Yeah.
For sure. I wanted Estrella to stay up, and
They're going to be fine.
they showed a
I
bit.
think.
They
I think
showed a bit
Estrella
about
will
them,
stay
They've
but
been really unlucky in their first 2 games. I'll be
Yeah.
honest.
yeah, tough games too. Guimarães and then Benfica.
And
That's
they
It's
tough.
not
got
like
they got a
it's not like
bullshit rat in the
Fresneda
first
and like
game.
Yeah,
Santa Clara last year, who were just dog shit for all the season,
yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
Estrella at least has shown some fucking signs of hope and fight in their game.
I think Rio Ave is a sleeper as well.
But who Av's always a sleeper.
I just haven't been impressed.
They're
Like,
always a sleeper.
Vizela, I've been more impressed with them. Moreirense, I've been more impressed with them.
Moreirense,
Estrela,
yeah.
I've been more impressed with them. Like, they didn't get results because they had harder games, but like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Shavs
think
were
Fidesz-
decent this
I
weekend
think
before the
Fidesz
red.
moves up. I think Portuguese and maybe Shavs.
Oh yeah, Shavs did play decent this weekend.
Yeah,
They
I
played
think
decent against
Fidesz
Braga,
maybe
and then they got a
Shavs.
red. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see.
it's tough. It's tough.
It's still early in the season. A lot can change, but like we said last week, it's going to take us about a month or so to really get an idea of where everybody kind of stands in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, exactly.
We have 2 tough games though coming out. Our next 2 games are tough, I would say. Famalicão and then Braga.
Family Cow's been
Right.
a boogeyman. I do think we get the better of Family Cow this time.
Yeah.
Braga, we always seem to play. They always play us tough, but we're in Braga for that game too, correct?
Yes.
Oh, so
Yeah.
5-0. 5-0.
We usually, when we play them away is usually when we nick points. When we play them at home is when we fuck
Drop
up.
points.
So,
Yeah.
so I think going to the quarry, I think they'll probably steal the points there, at least split points.
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful in that game.
On Saturday, Gil Vicente take on Benfica up north. So Benfica away from home. Potential to
No slouch, Gil Vicente.
yeah, no, they're good.
No slouch. They're a
They're
good.
good.
Team.
They lost this week to who did they lose to?
They lost this week. I know that.
To Guimarães it was, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they did lose to Guimarães.
And they put up a good fight. They put up a really good fight.
Yes.
I mean, like I said, we're talking about Boa Vista. So Sunday, Boa Vista takes on Casa Pia at home.
Oh,
Ooh,
banger
that's gonna be
game.
it. That's
gonna be a
an
good game.
interesting one.
Guimarães take on Vizela. That's a decent game. And then it's Sporting Famalicão. And then on Monday, Rio Ave Porto.
Porto will win that.
Yeah, I think so.
I'd be very.
It's never
surprised
much
if
trouble
Porto doesn't
there.
Win that.
Yeah, exactly. But boys, that's pretty much it. Unless you guys can think of anything else.
No, it's slow. It's still early in the season. We haven't got any European football. We haven't
Yeah.
got any of the domestic cup tournaments like the Taça Liga or Taça Portugal. So until we get some of those rolling, it's going to be kind of some shorter. And until Modalidades get rolling, it's going to be a bit shorter, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
So
But I mean, nonetheless, let's let me put up Chris's @ right there. Of course, don't forget to give me a follow here.
Remember,
San
lads, on
Fonseca.
Thursday, let's go Ludogorets, Razgrad,
Shout out, Ludo.
Yeah.
and Sparta.
What's this about Rangers? Well, why are we rooting for Rangers?
because
we don't want them to fall to the Europa League. Because if
they'll
they
be
do,
they'll bump us to
Oh.
they'll be
five.
higher than us. We want them to win the
They won
playoffs
then.
and just go
They
to the
won
Champions
today,
League.
right?
They tied 2-2. They were winning twice
Oh,
and tied 2-2.
Rangers, you bastards.
tough.
All to play for in the second leg, but yeah,
Yeah.
And
it was
who
the
are they
home
playing?
game. It was in Scotland.
No,
Who
who
are
are
they
they
playing?
playing?
Oh, PSV Eindhoven.
Oh yeah, we definitely want Rangers.
That's tough.
Yeah, because
That's
the
tough.
ideal is you get pot one and you avoid at least a couple killers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, don't forget to give Sam, give Rich a follow
Full
there.
on this.
It's been a day.
I know we
Well,
won't
of
wear
course.
glasses, but come on.
ATA Alvalade or AT Alvalade everywhere. Don't forget to give us a follow, everybody, and yeah, we'll see you next week, boys and girls.